What's going on, guys? It's your man, Ed Hayes here, back for another episode of the Wholesaling Mastermind podcast, y'all. And in this one, man, I'm excited to introduce Real Estate Jay out here, guys. Look, he's a young entrepreneur. He's out here rocking and rolling. He's still in the 9 to 5 game, but still out here doing big boy things in the real estate industry. So I think that this is going to be one that's going to inspire a lot of people, really get y'all going. So Jay, how's it going, my brother?
Hey, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a.
What's going on, Ed, man? I appreciate you having me on here today. Doing well, man. Doing well, man.
Hey, nah, well, man, I'm glad to have you on, man. Glad to get the conversation going. So maybe for the people who don't already know who you are, if you could just give them a little bit of an intro.
Yeah. So my name is Jay Jonez. I am a real estate investor, also a real estate agent. I actually started off doing some wholesaling a few years ago, and I'm in the Detroit market. So I usually am in the Metro Detroit market, really. So that's like the suburb areas, all the surrounding cities of Detroit. So I was doing some wholesaling in Metro Detroit. I was able to do some couple of fixes and flips last year. Picked up my first rental that I'm currently working on, just finished. So I've been able to have some success in real estate over the last few years, and like you said, I have a 9 to 5 as well still. So trying to juggle that, being a father and a husband, it's crazy, but I definitely just do my best to make it happen because I love real estate, and real estate is just kind of where my passion is. So, but yeah, I'm in the Detroit market, man. I'm 31 years old right now. And, I don't know. That's all I got right
Okay,
now.
okay. The right way indeed, man. The right way indeed. So, okay, so talk a little bit more, excuse me. Talk a little bit more about how you actually got started out here in the wholesaling space. I mean, well, just real estate in general, like you're in the 9 to 5 space. Like, what got you into real estate?
Yeah, man. So the real reason I got me into real estate, was later in life. When I had my first child, is when I really took real estate serious. So I always talked about real estate because it kind of goes back to, when I was about 12 or 13 years old. My parents were doing fix and flips in Detroit. So, again, I'm young. I want to play video games. I want nothing to do with real estate at this point. But it's one of those things where the seed was dropped and didn't
Mm-hmm.
know it. So, I'm helping them bust up floors, paint, do landscaping, and they
Right.
did a few houses. So we flipped them. And, I started learning about it. My dad was always in real estate, not an investor or not an agent, but he was an investor. He wasn't like a full-time guy, but he did a couple of
Mm-hmm.
things, real estate.
Right.
So I learned some things from him. And then later in life, as I'm trying to, work the corporate grind and do all this stuff, man, I'm like, it's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
something's just not right. And I found real estate, really I started wholesaling at 27. Then I started doing some deals, and finally was able to start doing some fix and flips and some rentals.
Mm.
Also, I skipped one little phase. I tried to get a rental at 21 years old. So I tried to go, tried to do like a house hack thing before I knew it was house hacking.
Right.
But I failed at it. And I couldn't get the house to appraise. I had to bring more money to the table. I didn't have enough money at the time. So I'm like 21, 22. So I was trying to implement those things. So,
Mm.
again, started off at 12, 13, kind of got learned about this real estate thing. Then I got to about 21. I really wanted to try to get me my first rental. Didn't work out.
Right.
Then 27 comes. At this time, I finally had my first daughter. And,
Mm.
I don't know if we'll get to that point, but I had that aha moment. I was like, I just got to double down and do what I love to do. And
Mm.
finally, it was real estate. And I just dove all in, all real estate. And then finally was able to progress, man, with just staying consistent.
Right, the right way, man. That's the story of a lot of people, man. It's like it seems like it was a calling for you, like it just kept calling you back, like please come on, take action on me. Like I want you to actually succeed in real estate. That's how it seems like for a lot of people. But talk about the actual profession though. Like what is it? I'm not sure if you mentioned it or whatever. Like what's the actual profession that you're in right now?
Yeah, so I'm in the healthcare IT space. So,
Okay.
in school, actually, I never was A plus student, right? I was a
Mm-hmm.
average, below average student. So I struggled through school, man, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
I diagnosed with ADD, so I was always insecure about like being smart and learning. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things that played on me until I was older.
Hmm.
So I ended up going to a trade school for IT. And so IT is my profession. It just, for some reason, that helps me. You know, it's another thing that I really love is, you know, fixing computers and troubleshooting and all those things.
Hmm.
And now I'm in the healthcare IT space, and that's what I do. You know, so I work for a company where I go to different hospitals, fix patient monitors and things like that. And I mean, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's just not the same as having your own, man. It's just that control. So
Nothing like it, right?
that's the space that I'm in, is the healthcare IT space.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, man, that's really interesting. And like you mentioned, excuse me. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. Like, you stated like, I had the job, but it just wasn't enough. And I wanted to really chase my dreams, and like I just wanted to get more from what I was doing. I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people, because I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people that end up finding the wholesaling space, they start off just like, man, look, I just need more than what I'm getting right now. And they're just looking for something that they can do while they're still working a job, or maybe they want to transition out of that job that can help them actually do that. So man, that's pretty inspiring, man, for real. So okay, but you're working the job, right? Well, like, so you're still working the job right now, but now you're actively doing deals and stuff like that. So tell me about like your first deal in the real estate space. Like, how did that end up coming about? Give me the details on that.
Yeah, man. So first deal is a wholesale deal. This was back in 2017. No, 2018. So this was like August of 2018.
Hmm.
First deal, wholesale deal, right? So I'm working a 9 to 5, right? I went down the YouTube, you know, rabbit hole of learning about wholesaling, right? Because I'm just like,
Right.
man, I'm like, this seems like real, but then you don't have proof of concept at the time. And you're
Hmm.
like, well, people are showing checks, we're doing this. I'm like, you know what? This is my way to get into real estate, right? I don't have the
Right.
money, I don't have this, but I can gain the knowledge and money. So went down the real estate route, right? Found wholesaling. First deal is the worst deal out of all the deals I've done so far, right? Not gonna say, right? So first deal, you want me to go into that story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just real quick. So first deal, the way I got the deal was through my website. So I had an investor carrot website. So I
Nice.
generated it through there because I was posting in Craigslist and Facebook groups. So
Hmm.
those like we buy sell groups, you know what I'm saying? I was
Hmm.
posting heavy in those, right? Just posting. Finally got a lady. She's like, you know what? I had this house. She's a real estate agent, which threw me off.
Hmm.
She had a house in a city was called Ecorse, and it's outside of Detroit. And Ecorse is it's rough out there, man. It's like real rundown, but this was like a hidden gem for real, because
Right.
literally when you stepped outside the property, you're looking at the water, which was the Detroit River. So like this is nice. It's a nice area.
Right.
So she's like, hey, I got this house. I've had it for years. I wanted to make it a bed and breakfast, but I ran short of money. The house is fully gutted. I can't do nothing with it, right?
Hmm.
She's got screwed by contractors and a landscaping person, so she's just done with it.
Right.
So she told me, there's squatters in the house, right? And it's so funny because sometimes you can let fear just like, overtake you, like, oh man, and think the worst. So I'm thinking,
Hmm.
oh man, it's squatters in the house. How am I gonna do this deal? So I'm researching, I'm posting in groups. Come to find out, man, I go to the house with the seller, no squatters. So I'm like, oh, so okay, no squatters here, because
Okay.
they said like drug addicts used to be there on the porch, just they used to call all the time.
Right. Right.
No squatters, no nothing, right? So I've already had the house under contract before I even went to the house,
Okay.
which I don't know why I did that. Put it under contract. I'm climbing through the little window pane, or the door has a window in it. So we took the drill, we drilled it, took the little cardboard off of it. I'm climbing inside inside the little door where it has a window,
Hmm.
taking my pictures, posting it, right? So this is where the story gets ridiculous and crazy. So I get another wholesaler who's like, yo, I got a buyer for this property. So I end up linking up with this wholesaler. Never did a JV agreement, which was I was trying to get him to get it. That was my first red flag. I should have knew. Don't deal with him. Never did a JV agreement. He tells me for a week, buyer's gonna buy. Buyer finally comes through 2 days before closing. walks the house. He's like, I can just tell, like he doesn't want this house. I'm like, dude told me he wanted this house. You can just tell body language. Like, dude was like, nah. So I get the HUD statement. I think it's the day before closing. He tells me, hey, buyer doesn't want to buy the house now. Yo, I've spent like a whole week on this property with you, man. I've wasted a lot of time. Got to go back to the seller, tell her, I need some more time. You know what ended up happening? This wholesaler was trying to make $30,000 on top of my price, his own fee.
That's hilarious.
So obviously, numbers are not going to work for that. So I was stressing, like, yo, like how I gotta try to get this property. So this lady's probably doesn't have no faith in me. Long story short, I was inside the Facebook group, found a buyer, man, and I was able to end up netting $6,000 on that deal. And he did a really good job with the house, man. So that's my first horror story, first deal, wholesale deal. It was the worst, but I learned so much from it, man. I learned how to. And that was really important. So,
man, that's a pretty crazy story, man. You know, it's wild. It seems like everyone's first deal story seems to be pretty crazy out there, man. For real. I know that my first deal was absolutely insane. You know, I thought I was going to get stumped out by some gangbangers and stuff like that. And, you know, I made like $8,000 on that deal. And I also leveraged a Carrot website as well. So, you know, a lot of similarities right there, you know. Real quick, can you hear me still?
Yep, still can hear you.
Okay. I'm just making sure or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, okay. So man, all right. So man, that's really, really interesting though. You know, like going through that first deal, you know, like you're like, okay, all right. So, you know, I made $6,000 on this first deal. I'm curious, like right after that first one, did you like reinvest the majority of that income that you got, or did you like go blow it, or like were you like very consistent right after? I'm just curious, like what happened right after that first deal? What did you do with that money?
Yeah. So right after that first deal, man, I had proof of concept. I'm like, yo, this works. So I kind of did the same thing again. So I was able to spend a little bit more on marketing. I didn't go too crazy though, you know, but I started putting some more money into marketing. Then I got my second deal, and then third, and it just kind of spiral up a little bit until I was able to get my first virtual assistant. I don't think it was like deal 9 or something like that. I finally got me a VA. So, you know, it started to kind of pick up, man. So I took that money and just, you know, put it back in the business and just try to keep the bag going, you know?
Boom. Hey, I hope that y'all listening, man. I hope y'all taking notes out here, man, because that's how you should be doing it. Like, let the business pay for itself, and then eventually you can, you know, invest more into your business. So then the business is paying you. You're not working not in the business. You're working more so on the business, right? So like it makes a big difference, and it allows you to be able to scale your business over time. So, you know, another thing that you mentioned, you know, was the fact that, having your, staff members and stuff like that. I'm curious, like once you started to bring on staff, did you see like an exponential growth in sales velocity and stuff like that or whatever? Or was it like the same, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, so it didn't go like super crazy because I hired one virtual assistant. She was only doing my admin tasks. So that was my mistake. I should have hired like a cold caller, somebody that can do more volume. So I hired an admin. So she was just doing a lot of the things that I was doing at like, you know, late at night, you know, like 11, 12 o'clock. She was doing the skip tracing, scrubbing lists and all that great stuff. And I was still calling. So it did help me a little bit because I didn't have to worry about so much. You know, I could just literally throw her a lead, get it together, then I could call it the next day. But it kept me, you know, closing deals. And I was doing a little less work on the admin side. So it did help out once I hired her. But if I could do it all over again, I would have hired a cold caller. That way she could have just been calling for me and I wouldn't have been doing so much of like the busy work. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's what I was going to ask you too. Like, is that your still like to this day, like your main form of marketing, cold calling?
Yes. Yeah. I focus a lot on cold calling. I do a little direct mail, not a whole lot, but mainly mainly cold calling. And then I post inside the Facebook groups and Craigslist. So I still do that. Okay. You know, I haven't done bandit signs in quite some time, but bandit signs definitely work for me. I just choose to do cold calling and text messaging because it's so direct. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get an answer right then and there, you know, instead of spending money on mail and never get somebody to call me. I can call them and they can tell me no. And I can say, okay, are you sure you don't? No, man, I just bought this house. I don't want to sell it. Oh, you just bought it in 2021? Yeah, okay, cool. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I get a direct answer. So yeah, cold calling is where it's at. And I enjoy the tough conversations, man, because they're not really that tough. It's just go through a few people, someone's gonna sell to you, and then boom, you build rapport and then you keep it going, you know?
Just like that. Just like that. So then tell me, bro, like what does your team look like now? You say like you're doing some cold calling and things like that or whatever. What's the team look like now? Like are you still like the primary cold calling person or do you have other staff members? I know you said that you brought on a VA before. I'm curious, like what does the staff and team look like now?
Yeah, right now, so I have two virtual assistants now. So I have Hannah, she does all the admin work still, right?
Okay.
And then I have Jordan, who I just hired 2 weeks ago. I had also another virtual assistant back in May. I had to let her go. But so right now I have Jordan, she cold calls. So I just have two right now.
Okay.
And I'm basically the person that's, kind of like leads manager. So I get the lead that's pre-qualified. I'm still putting out offers. Like I'll look on Zillow and Craigslist, and I'm not taking a back seat like, oh, I got them doing their thing, I'm gonna sit
Right.
back. So I got a job for myself. So I try to make it to where it's like everybody's all in motion. So yeah, I got those two. And so far they're doing pretty good, man. It just helps me, like I said, being a father, husband, working a 9 to 5. I want to do that stuff, man, but I just don't have the time to sit down for 3-4 hours, during a reasonable time to do it. So, I have to kind of pay to play, and it actually helps, man. I mean, it helps me right now in my business, and it's actually helping me close some deals. Last virtual assistant, before she left, actually helped me get my first rental. So she made the
Nice.
call, pre-qualified it, and then I was able to pick up, and then I bought that house. So
Nice.
it definitely worked, man.
Nice, nice. So it sounds to me like you're the primary person, excuse me, that's like actually making the offers then. You'll run the numbers, actually call the seller back, make that offer on that property.
Correct. Yep.
Boom. So I'm curious then, like, how is it, like, with working that 9 to 5, being a dad, all of these other things going on, like, how does that work out for you, and like, how are you managing like your time for all the people out there that's listening that, maybe they've got a family, maybe they've got other things going on and maybe it hasn't been so smooth for them. Like, what advice can you give them or just talk a little bit more to that?
Yeah, man. And like I said, a lot of people are in that position. A lot of people have 9 to 5s. They got a lot of things going on, and they might want to do real estate or just a business. And my advice is for me, I'm a little obsessive, what I'm saying, with things I love. So, when I find something I like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make the time for it. I'm just gonna do it. Right. And I find the small steps that I can do now just to keep me, going. So, if you're in this position and say you really want to do real estate and like, hey man, this is where it is. This is where I can build my wealth. This is where I'm gonna make a lot of money. This is where I'm gonna have a great time, as far as my life. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Find out where you can start, change your environment. But when it comes to time, just make the time. Just find a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's time somehow in the day. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like myself, man. I could sit here, I could watch TV, I could scroll through Instagram, I could do this, I could do that. I mean, those are those little times, little moments that you could spend trying to, perfect your craft. So I would just say find a way to make time because you can do it. And trust me, it's for me, I'm all in, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm
nah.
all in like a man at the poker table, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? This is I'm gonna dedicate myself to until I, get really, really good and until I can, expand and then evolve. So
And the right way, bro. A lot of people have a hard time with actually just getting into motion, right? Just like doing those small little steps that can actually get you started. So I think that that's great advice, man. Just really kind of get into the game. Don't make excuses like most people do. Like the real learning experience comes from being in the game, being on the battlefield, actually figuring it out. Not just, thinking about everything in terms of theory and stuff like that. Like you actually got to get into the game out here, man. So I think that that's great advice, man, for real. So, but yeah, so like I know it can definitely be difficult when you've got a family, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a business owner, you working, so many different things going on. So, really being able to kind of, relax sometimes and stuff like that as well is definitely like important. But I think that like how you say it, like, look, I'm all in. All right. Like some people is gonna be like, oh man, like, do you schedule time out for relaxation and things of that nature, family time, stuff like that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, yeah. So I do that. So like a lot of times in the morning, man. So like very first thing in the morning, I do my workout. I'm like,
Mm,
5, 6 in the morning, that's my time. And then, I schedule family time. Usually, sometimes I gotta pick them up from daycare
mhm.
or when they're home, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, it's just pretty much all their time. One thing that's helped me is kind of even before I had virtual assistants, right? I really didn't have a schedule. I was kind of all over the place, and I would time block though. So I
Mhm.
would say like, hey, when I get off work, I would call my wife, right? Getting off work, hey, it's like 5 o'clock. Hey, let me stop at this Starbucks for like 2 hours and make some calls. So then I would say, okay, cool. From 5:30 to about 7 or 5:30 to 7:30, I'm gonna make calls, right?
Mhm.
Or if I'm gonna work on some marketing, I always would try to just time block. And that's what helped me, you know what I'm saying, was time blocking and saying during this hour, during this 2 hours, is all I'm gonna do. Even sometimes when I was working on the clock, man, I would have a direct mail campaign where I'm like, okay, at lunchtime, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set up my direct mail campaign, just get my addresses in there. Then later, 10 o'clock, or between 10 and 11, I'm gonna send it out.
Right.
So I would just time block, what I'm saying, that really, really helped me. And during that time, that's all I'm doing.
Mhm.
So because I can't go here, 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 during that time when I'm on the clock or something. But I always would time block, and I would find something to do during that hour, 2 hours, and that would be it. And then once I'm done, I'm done. And I go to the next task. So that helped me.
Boom. That's great advice, man. That's something that I also recommend. Like, I'm a big avid user of Google Calendar. So it's like my whole life is on there. It's like wake up, go to sleep, eat, like everything that I need to do throughout the day and throughout the week is going to be on my Google Calendar. So I 100% feel you on that. I think it's super important, especially when you have a family, and so many other things going on. Maybe this isn't if your only business. Maybe you got other businesses on the side. You've got to be time blocking. You've got to make sure that you prioritize a lot of different things. It's not always just going to be the business. You still got to think about family. You still got to be at work. It's so many different things that you have to think about. So I think that's great advice, though, man. Like, time block it out and make sure that, you're not kind of burning yourself out because you're just kind of all over the place. I think when we don't time block it, then we kind of just end up all willy nilly, versus like, having a much clearer mind. So, but bro, like, oh, go ahead. What was you about to say? I wanted to ask you a quick question. So, like, I want to give you a chance to answer this as well, because I think, some people that's listening, right? Like, they got a job, right? Maybe they're out here, they're running their business right now, and it's already stressful and things like that, right? I'm curious, like, what type of adversities, like, speak to the adversities that you've faced, like, while, trying to balance these multiple things that you got going on in life.
Yeah, man. I mean, you just got your normal day-to-day stuff, man. I mean, there's days where like you plan your whole entire day, of what you're gonna do, and then nothing ever happens, right? You got family things going on, family issues and all that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something going on, and really just kind of, when it comes to adversity, man, I just try my best. I try to be optimistic. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of like a strong suit of mine, man. I try to turn like a bad situation into a positive one, or figure out, okay, what can I do, change my perspective, and how can I, get this done? So that's just my whole thing. That kind of works for me, because there's always things that come up, man, like all the time, and it's
So,
like, all right.
so speak to that. Like, give me like a specific example of something that you think maybe other people may experience as well. Like, while you're trying to, balance a lot of things in life.
Yeah, yeah. So like just recently, like, at my 9 to 5, right? So I do a lot of traveling. So, one day I had planned out my entire day, like how I was gonna do it. Then I
Mm-hmm.
ended up getting a call, it was like basically like an on-call. Like I have to go to this site that's 2.5 hours away. So now I gotta drive 2.5 hours, basically in the car, do the work, then drive 2.5 hours back. Well, it was a snowstorm that day. So, I didn't get to that site, and I was damn near almost crashed like 9 times, right? So I finally get there. I was not able to do any work that day, right? So I only had one virtual assistant at this time, I think. So then I'm like, yo, like I couldn't do no work today. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing's working out. So I couldn't do nothing. So what I did was, soon as and not to mention, Restaurants started closing after I left this site, so I couldn't get nothing to eat, all that stuff, man. So I got to the hotel, and I said, all right, man, I can either go to sleep or I can try to figure out a way to plan the next day. Because I mean, this day's already done, right? So I was like, you know what? I stayed up. It was like 11 o'clock. I didn't go to bed till about 2:30 in the morning, just planning my next day out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? I could be mad, I could be upset, or I could just figure out the next day. You know what I'm saying? So that was, kind of a recent adversity that I could think of right now. Of course, in the fixing and flipping world, bro, like you got so much going on. Like, for example, my first flip, I call it the Project Boston. It's on my YouTube. Okay. Man, I ran into so many obstacles just trying to fix and flip that house, from money to what should I do to working a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And I had to figure out, like, okay, am I going to do the work myself? Am I going to hire out? So I had to do a lot of just thinking, man. But that first fix and flip, man, it took a lot. But I invested it all, and I finally finished it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the end goal was accomplished. But just going through all that was just a headache. But now my second one, I was like, all right, I'm a little stronger now. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with it. So you just get better, you know what I'm saying, as you go through different obstacles, man. So those are just like two that's kind of come to my head right now.
Right. But man, yeah, that's really interesting, man. These adversities, man, they can stop some people, but they can also fuel other people to greatness, right? So, but man, I want to talk about, because you kind of just dove into it, I want to talk about more about what you've got going on right now, right? So I know that you told me that you did a couple fix and flips, and that you're getting into short-term rentals, if I'm not mistaken, things like that or whatever. Just talk about what does the business look like now? What are you actually doing, and what do you plan on doing coming up here this year?
Yeah, man. So what I'm planning on doing right now, I want to do at least 5 fix and flips this year and acquire 3 rentals. So last year I was able to do 2 fix and flips. So I was able to make, a lot of money, and then I was able to take that money and then purchase my first rental. So I want to do a little bit more of that. I'm kind of understanding the strategy behind, my strategy is if I can flip 2 and then buy 1 rental, that's my new strategy. So that's what I'm trying to do more of, coming this year. So if I can, flip 2, take the money from that, buy a rental, whether it's a burst strategy or whatever, and just keep that going. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I still do marketing. So I still am always looking to wholesale a deal, if it doesn't fit my criteria or anything like that. So, and also being a real estate agent, I haven't really hit on that a lot, but I became an agent. So, I'm looking to just kind of expand my business a little bit more to where when I talk to one seller, I can give them 4 options, right? And of course, creative financing is another option. So I can always list their home. I can buy the home as a fix and flip, buy it as a rental, and I could always wholesale and then creative financing, which I need to get a little bit better at. But I want to be able to give my sellers more options this year. That way my company can make more money. And not just, that one way, because I was wholesaling for just a couple of years, just strictly just chasing the cash deal. And then I started realizing man, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. And then I became the agent. I'd be like, yo, I got access to the MLS. I can look at deals much faster. I don't have to wait for someone to send me comps. So this year I'm just looking to evolve my company, man, into more of just a well-rounded company where I can do a little bit more fix and flips, rentals, and then, also get some listings and just offer more options to sellers so I can get more deals.
Boom, man. Hey, look, I need to add some firework emojis or something right here, man. I need to add something right there, man, because I've been talking about this a lot myself recently as well. It's like, hey, look, if you just have been wholesaling up to this point, put yourself in position to win by having more options than just that one low ball wholesale offer. Give them a platter of options by becoming an agent, by maybe partnering up with them on a deal, doing creative finance options, and give them that low ball wholesale offer, right? So it just gives you more opportunities because that's what your competitors are doing right now. You've got to be able to adjust, to adapt, and actually give yourself more opportunities to win. So, but man, I'm really glad to hear that, you're trying to expand. You're basically thinking the same thing as me. This year I'm going more into a buyer focus versus just trying to JV everything or just trying to wholesale everything and stuff like that or whatever. I'm actually actually looking to buy the deal myself, right? Now, if I do come across some deals, I am interested in helping other wholesalers get their deal slam dunk. So, y'all already know, shoot them to me if y'all got the deals or whatever. But at the same time, like, I'm kind of transitioning more over into that buyer focus as well. But I'm curious, bro. I know that you mentioned something a little second ago. Now, you mentioned your YouTube channel. Talk a little bit more about that. Like, are you showcasing these deals? Like, what's going on the YouTube channel and how can they find you?
Yeah. So you can find me at Real Estate Jay Jonez. Jones is spelled with a Z, Jonez. So my YouTube page is just documenting the process of me, getting these deals, how I'm doing it, from how did I get the lead to how am I fixing the property, and I just take you through like almost like a project by project basis, right? So every project might have like 3 or 4 videos, and I'll show you the real, right? So like just like recently on my rental, I got a code violation. I'll talk about that and like what that meant, and I take you through issues that I've had in some of my fix and flips. And this is just basically documenting the process of what I'm doing. I talk about wholesaling, a little bit about some agent stuff, but it's mainly investing. All about investing and just kind of helping anybody else who's a 9 to 5er like myself. Like, how do you do it? Like, how are you doing it? And the best way for me to ever do anything, man, is just to kind of be by example. So I figure, hey, let me just turn the camera on, show you guys what I'm doing, and maybe it works for you, and that's what I'm doing on my YouTube. And it's all real estate related, though, for sure.
Nice, man. That's what's up, man. That's inspiring, like, and I think that that's also extremely beneficial. It's not very many people that actually go step by step through their projects and deals and stuff on a video by video basis. So, man, I'm really excited to hear that. I'm curious, like, how long have you been doing the YouTube channel and what got you started with doing YouTube?
Yeah, man. So I made my first video in 2018 about my first wholesale deal. So first wholesale deal story was on there with the grainy camera, terrible quality. But you know what? I kept it up there. I've been doing it since 2018. So literally when I first started wholesaling, I got a couple videos of me doing some wholesale deals, going to closings. And I got one video like literally working with the seller, talking to a seller. Got some cold call videos of me like literally live talking to sellers. They're not always like hey, you got my offer. Some of them are just like long conversations where nothing happens, right? Because that's the real deal in wholesale. Sometimes we have conversations that don't lead to deals. And then I got my recent videos, which are a lot more polished. I do have a guy, my guy Big Rob, who's my production guy. Where we shoot our fix and flips, our rentals, and any kind of content. So I've been able to evolve there in the YouTube space. So just looking to continue to expand, but just show people the real of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Not because, like I said, everybody's not the full-time real estate investor where they can just quit their job. There's some people that are like, hey, I like my job and I just want to do real estate. And again, I just want to show them, how I do it right now during this step of my life.
Man, that's what's up, man. Hey, look, make sure if y'all listening to this podcast that y'all go check out the links in the description down below. It's probably going to be in the pinned comment down below as well. Make sure that y'all check out my guy, Real Estate Jay Jonez, man. He out here blessing the community with gems, actually going through his deals, actually showing you the real of the game, man. So I think that's really inspirational as well, especially what you've been a dad, a 9 to 5er, you out here rehabbing properties, you buying rentals. I see you, my brother, for real, man. It takes a lot. I'm not going to lie. That takes a lot. So, it shows. That's why I actually like those specific questions about like, man, like what's the adversities? Like, what are you really facing out here? You know what I mean? Like what's the good and the bad of it or whatever? Because I think a lot of people want to be in your position. They want to be in a spot where, maybe they can keep their 9 to 5 or have the option to just get rid of it if they wanted to, but they can keep it because why not get some extra money? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. I can really tell you this, man. Since I've really gotten into real estate, and I mean from wholesaling to where I am now, man, I have made a really good choice by just going all in. Made a lot of money, man. That's what I was trying to not say, but say. So I don't like to talk numbers, but last year, man, I made the most money I've ever made in my life. I've crossed the 6-figure mark. I used to dream about man, one day I'm gonna have 6 figures. And my one flip, I crossed six figures in just one flip in 4 to 5 months. And I was just like, yo, are you like, I've been spending all this time trying to just get one job for 12 months to pay me $100,000.
Mm.
I did one flip where I was able to exceed that, bro. And I was like, yo, that was proof of concept too. And then, I did my next one and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like, I've made the most money ever. And all I did was I invested into myself. I took the major risks. I changed my environment. Like I just went all in, man. Like I said, if anybody out there, like the reason why I'm talking with so much excitement, you know what I'm saying, is just because like I seen real estate is working. And I'm like, yo, I really, really made the money that I was listening to people talk about and going on YouTube. Like I really took action. I did it and it worked, bro. And it's crazy, man. So I would encourage anybody to just, if you love real estate, get into it, man. Just do it. And it's definitely going to take care of you. If you got to respect it, though. But you know what I'm saying? I love it. But I made the most money ever in my
Man,
life.
that's powerful, bro. For real, man. That's super powerful. And this is coming from a man that's literally working a job. You get what I'm saying? He like, look, man, look, I'm making way more off my real estate venture because I went all in on me. I bet on me. That's why I'm winning right now. Like, man, that's powerful, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. We're gonna have to clip that. I ain't gonna lie to you. We're gonna have to clip that one right there, man, because that's just powerful. I mean, and that's what real estate could do for people. I think it's Jay Morrison who always says, he calls it like the RBCs of wealth, like real estate, business, and credit. I do truly believe that we need knowledge about these things for us to really win in life. Otherwise, we may just fall victim to being a slave, working a job forever because we have to. Not because we want to, but because we have to. And it's like that never-ending cycle when, we could do so many more things by doing our own thing. But this is not for everybody, right? Like you know damn well that this is not for everybody. This stuff is hard, man. But if you're willing to grind it out, like Jay, then like you'll have that possibility of being able to, get into that six-figure club, earn money that you've never even thought that it was possible. It's like, I can't believe this stuff, right? Isn't it like so unbelievable? Like when you think about it, like I be feeling so blessed, It's like, I can't believe what I've been able to accomplish, like doing wholesaling when I was literally wiping butts for a living. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Seriously.
It's true, man. It's true, bro. And like I said, one thing that like kind of like an aha moment for me was when I realized like the 9 to 5, once you realize kind of what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because like I grew up, my dad always stressed, education, 9 to 5, get a good job. But I watched my dad work for 30 some years. He did 30-year 401k grind. And I'm thinking, oh, snap, he retired. He about to live his golden years. He ain't got to go to job. He ain't got to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like shortly after, not even 2 months after, he had to, he was working for Hanson Window Company.
Mm.
Like, well, hold on, what I'm saying? I thought you're supposed to be like, we're supposed to be good at this point, right? And he was like, well, I still got to get the money coming in. And then I watched my dad end up getting his own business, right? He has an adult foster care business. So I was like, yo, so even when you retire, you still got to keep working. And now he's like, I invested into myself, and now he's making more money than he was making on 9 to 5. And I just watched people that were working at 9 to 5s. I'm like, yo, you still gonna end up having to work after you get this. And then when you make your 401k after 30 years, you don't get all that money. They take that money, you got to get a financial advisor. I'm like, so they don't even trust us with the money. And I'm like, all right, I understand it now. I was like, I need to go out here and get my own. And that's why I was like, all right, I watched it. This 30-year 401k grind is not for me for real. So I'm going to figure something else out. And that's when I figured out this 9 to 5 thing is just, it's a comfortability thing, but it's really, it's not for an abundant life for me. You know what I'm saying? You only going to have so much. To me, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. And like I said, living this entrepreneurial type of life where you got to be responsible for multiple different people and their income and stuff like that. It's not necessarily for everyone. I think all of us really have to ask ourselves, is this something that I'm willing to do? Is this a sacrifice that I'm willing to make where I'm responsible for all of this stuff going on and I got to keep the trains moving? Am I really ready to be the boss? Because I think a lot of people aren't really ready for it. But it sounds like people like, yourself, your dad, like you've got to be willing to do what it takes, right? Like you can't just be sitting on the sidelines. You actually got to be shooting in the gym. You've got to be in the arena, actually fighting for it on a daily basis. Like when I talk to my coaching clients and we get to the part where it comes to getting inventory, I call it hunting for inventory, because you've got to be ferocious out there. You've got to be like a wild animal whose like life, it's like food source depends on you getting this deal, because otherwise your family starves. I think like when you think like that, it just changes everything. It's like a certain level of hunger that's required, a certain level of dedication, of commitment to the cause that's required for all of us to win out here, man. It's not easy. So yeah, man. Super important. Say that again.
So that's true, man. That's very true, man. Like you have to really want it, bro. And like I said, that mindset that you had, like this deal, this is what you need. This is what you're going for, man. And yeah, man, that's true, bro. You gotta want it. You gotta want it, man. Hustle is not that's just something you gotta have, right? You just can't just, one of those intangibles. It's just hustle.
That's big facts.
Hustle, man. Can't stop that person.
Right. And that goes for hustling in anything. If you was trapping in these streets, or if you was selling cars or insurance, or this is probably gonna work for you as well. To be honest, like you're probably gonna be decent enough to actually get the job done. If you've sold almost anything, to be honest, it's just a different script, same thing basically. So. But man, though, bro, man, this has been a great conversation so far, man. But I'm curious, like, it's a question that, I like to ask everybody that comes onto this podcast, right? And that's, for somebody that's just getting started right now, what would be your best advice for somebody that's just getting started in the game? They're looking to get the best results. I know you've dropped some nuggets already or whatever, but I'm curious, like, what would be your best advice for someone just getting started in the game?
Yeah, my best advice would be, you look at your situation, and if you're not happy with your situation, you have the ability to change your situation in your life. If it's real estate, what I would just suggest, man, is just find the small thing you can do today, right? Commit to this, commit to it. Like, this is what you're going to do. Just give yourself a commitment, and just start doing the small things. But the most important thing is you want to take action. That's why I say take the small step that gets you to taking action. And then next thing you know, man, you're knee deep in the pool and you're like, all right, cool. I just got to keep it going. So my main advice, man, that worked for me was literally just take action. I know it's probably super repetitive in the real estate world. You hear it all the time, but it's because that's the only thing that separates the talker from the doer, is he just took action. He got in, he got experience. Now he knows how to do this thing. So take the smallest step and just keep taking action. And eventually, man, things will string along. Next thing you know, man, you'll be doing things. I, right now, am super blessed because I was able to take action. And that's no different. Again, I'm not a super, in education, I'm not an A+ student. I'm a below average person, right? There's nothing different about me other than the fact that I'm willing to put in the hours, the work, long nights, and all that stuff, and take action. That's it. So you do that, you stick to it, you'll be fine. That's all I got to say, man.
I think that's pretty powerful, man. I think a lot of people hearing this are going to see themselves in you. So I hope that y'all taking notes, man. Take this advice. Really get yourselves out there, man. I could say the same thing for myself. It was really just, I kind of had to get out there and take action. So don't be me. Don't wait until life forces you to take action. That's what most people do. Don't wait until the shit hits the fan. Get yourself out there right now and do whatever it takes to actually start getting these deals. Don't wait until life smacks you around and says, hey, it's either this or you're going to be homeless. You pick. So that's basically what happened to me. So don't put yourself in that situation. I think what Jay is saying is great advice. Really, really get out here. Start taking baby steps if that's what you need to do. Start doing some research, but don't focus so much on, I got to learn everything before I start. No. Get out there and start taking action. Bang. Hey, what, you know what I'm saying? What more can we say? You know what I'm saying? So, man, bro. So, wait, say that again.
appreciate you. I really appreciate you having me on here, man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, bro. It really has been a pleasure, man. I'm glad to, bring other inspiring people on, and then you got the YouTube channel as well. So, we fellow YouTubians out here and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Definitely got you, my brother. Make sure that y'all go subscribe to my guy Jay's channel, man. Quit playing with him, okay? Put some respect on Jay's name. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. The link is going to be down below, man. For real, for real. Show support to other young brothers out here putting out that content, showing y'all how to actually get out here and letting you know that you can also do it. You get what I'm saying? Most of us just see entertainers on stages dancing around and doing something like a clown, like Bojangles or something. We're sitting here showing y'all that, hey, look, it's other avenues, y'all. You ain't got to be in this street life. You ain't got to be like some entertainer or an athlete or da-da-da-da-da. There's different ways to get out here and get it, man. So I hope that this podcast has shown y'all that, like without a shadow of a doubt, y'all can get out here and get this bag, man. So hit that like button, man. Make sure that y'all share this with other people that y'all think it would be helpful for. And Jay, man, I kind of want to let you get the final thoughts here, my brother. Is there anything else you want to add to the community? You want to let them know where to find you? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, man. So anybody that wants to find me, I do have Instagram. It is Real Estate Jay Jonez. Again, Jones is spelled with the Z, Jonez. Real Estate Jay Jonez, same thing with the Z. You can find me on YouTube. So if you're looking for me there, I like to drop motivational things every day, just about on my Instagram. So anybody that's looking for some type of uplifting thing, because I'm always looking for it. That's why I post it. Check me out there. Any real estate content, check out my YouTube. And the only thing I got to say, man, is the last thing I always say after all my YouTube videos is to keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing. And I'm gonna see y'all at work.
Hey. All right, then look, I'm going to leave it right there, man, just like that. So, man, I hope that y'all staying healthy and staying blessed. As always, make sure that y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already, man. And until next time, we are out.